Buenos días y bienvenidos to module número 2. ¿Eres estudiante? Are you a student? I think you are. That's the title of module 2. Notice you'll be introduced to some famous Spanish-speaking people in the world in the very nice Section 5 cultural component of this module. So the modules going forward will have these nice cultural pieces. This is instructional video número 1 for module 2. Study plan section 1. ¿Qué día es hoy? What day is today? This is what we'll be reviewing or going over, learning rather, in this instructional video. El vocabulario, los días de la semana, the days of the week. Las palabras útiles, the useful words used with talking about days of the week. Los meses del año, the months of the year. And que versus que, they look the same, don't they? Or they sound the same rather, but one, of course, has an accent. So we'll look at the difference between those two versions of the word que. And we'll also take a look at another word, cuál. Also notice there's an accent there. Muy bien, vamos, let's go. Los días de la semana, the days of the week. Repita, por favor. Lunes, lunes. Lunes means Monday. Interesting because in the Spanish-speaking world, they begin their week on the calendar with Monday, not with Sunday, which kind of makes sense because then their calendar week ends with the weekend, Saturday and Sunday at the end. So we start once again, repita, lunes, martes, martes, lunes, martes. Repita, miércoles, miércoles. Make that stress on that E. Repita, lunes, martes, miércoles, all three. Bien, repita, jueves, jueves, Thursday. Repita, lunes, martes, miércoles, jueves. Repita, viernes, viernes. Say a couple at a time. Repita, lunes, martes, miércoles, jueves, viernes. Repita, sábado, sábado. Make sure the stress is on that first A. Repita, domingo, domingo. Sábado, domingo. Sábado, domingo. Let's say the all siete. Repita, lunes, martes, miércoles, jueves, viernes, sábado, domingo. Say them with me. We'll say them the whole way through with me now. Lunes, martes, miércoles, jueves, viernes, sábado, domingo. ¿Cómo se dice Wednesday? Repita, miércoles. Saturday. Repita, sábado. Starts with S-A like Saturday. That one helps you out a bit. ¿Cómo se dice Monday? Repita, lunes. Maybe you can think of the moon being out on the first day, the luna, right? Lunar landing, the luna being out the first day of the week, lunes. ¿Cómo se dice Friday? Repita, viernes. Maybe you can think it's very, very good when Friday finally gets here. Very, viernes. Repita, viernes. ¿Cómo se dice Tuesday? Repita, martes. Maybe you can think you go to the market on Tuesdays. The moon, the luna's out on lunes, and you go to the market on martes. Repita, martes. Tuesday, martes. ¿Cómo se dice Sunday? Repita, domingo. in the Catholic faith, it's Dominus, or something like that. When the priest, the Pope is speaking, Dominus, or they sing like that. Domingo, Sunday. ¿Cómo se dice Thursday? Repita, jueves. Jueves. Can you find a good hook somehow to link that? Thursday, jueves, Thursday, jueves. Not sure of a link there. Okay, call it out. The English, Saturday, Monday, Thursday, Sunday, Tuesday, Friday, Wednesday. Now, see if you can call out the Spanish. The English will scroll by. Miércoles, domingo, jueves, martes, market day, sábado, lunes, viernes. Very, very good to get to Friday. Now, as you know, you really can remember songs very well. For some reason, you're able to memorize words to music. Well, similar in Spanish, if we hear a little song, sometimes it helps us to remember. So listen the first time around, and the second time around, join in. Lunes, martes, miércoles, jueves, viernes, sábado, domingo. Lunes, martes, miércoles, jueves, viernes, sábado, domingo. Your turn. Try it now. Sing it. Lunes, martes, miércoles, jueves, viernes, sábado, domingo. Lunes, martes, miércoles, jueves, viernes, sábado, domingo. Play that as many times as you need to memorize it. What do you think of that? Let's just do a quick little review of los números de 0 a 23 or 21. We're going to do a little práctica with the días de la semana, but let's just see what you remember. I'll say the English, see if you can come up with it in Espanol. 0, cero. Go ahead, just say them. I won't say the English. 0, 1, 2, 3, say it before me. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Remember the next 5 have the C at the end, the CE at the end. ¿Cómo se dice 11? 11, continue. 12, 13, 14, 15. The next 4 are 10 and the single digit. ¿Cómo se dice 16? 10 and 6. 16, continue. 17, 18, 19. And notice the contraction. The Z popped out and was replaced by a C, and the and is Y in Spanish, was replaced with the I. Notice the one that has the accent at this point, 16, has to have the accent over the E. Let's continue. ¿Cómo se dice 20? 20. 21? 21. The customary way to do this, remember, you drop the E, add the I, so you can make the contraction. 21. 22. Notice there's an accent to make sure that the dos, is stressed. Continue, por favor. 23. 23, also accented. Continue. 24. 25. 26 with an accent. Continue. 27. 28. 29. Notice the ones that are accented. If you look in the first column, they are the numerals, the numbers that are single syllables. Dos is one syllable. Tres is one syllable. Seis is actually one syllable. Those two letters are together. A. So those are the three that have the accents. All the other numbers, uno, cuatro, cinco, they're two syllables, so they don't need an accent. Last couple, ¿cómo se dice 30? 30 starts with TRE like tres with the 3. And ¿cómo se dice 31? 31. No contraction on the numbers larger than the 20s. The 20s contract. That and just like the 16 to 19, the contractions happen. But higher numbers, there's the and in between, two separate numbers with and. Now you'll see why we need those. Preguntas del calendario. Questions about the calendar. So we have the months here. And I'm going to ask you a question. ¿Qué día es el? And I'll say a number and then I'll say a month. This gives you a little preview of what's coming up. So, ¿qué día es el? Something of something, right? And then es. So, por ejemplo, ¿qué día es el 2 de mayo? So look in mayo. Look at where dos is. And you'll say es sábado. It's Saturday. Notice the calendar has the abbreviations for lunes, martes, miércoles, jueves, viernes, sábado, domingo. Okay, so I'll ask you some questions. ¿Qué día es el 3 de agosto? El 3 de agosto. Es lunes. You should have come up with it's Monday. Muy bien. ¿Qué día es el 16 de enero? El 16 de enero. Es jueves. The 16th of January is Thursday. ¿Qué día es el 20 de diciembre? El 20 de diciembre. Es domingo. The 20th of December is Sunday. ¿Qué día es el 14 de julio? El 14 de julio. Es martes. The 14th of July is Tuesday. And one more. ¿Qué día es el 31 de octubre? El 31 de octubre. Es sábado. Muy bien. Ahora las palabras útiles. The useful words. Repita por favor, hoy. Hoy. Today. Repita, ¿qué día es hoy? ¿Qué día es hoy? What day is today? Repita, hoy es. Hoy es, and I bet you can figure out what that means. Today is. Muy bien. Repita, ayer. Ayer. Yesterday. Can you see the Y-E in there like yesterday? Ayer. Repita, anteayer. Anteayer. What's your guess for that one? Has to do with ayer, but something else. Maybe you guessed day before yesterday. The anterior, which is before something, before yesterday. Repita, mañana. Mañana. Tomorrow. What? When you say mañana hasta mañana, until tomorrow. Do you remember that? Muy bien. So you've already used that in an expression. Pasado mañana. Try to figure this one out. Pasado mañana. Day after tomorrow. So you can think past tomorrow. Pasado mañana. Repita, en 3 días. You can figure this one out. Repita, en 3 días. You got it, in 3 days. So, en 2 días, en 3 días, en 4 días, etc. Repita, que viene. Que viene. Next or coming. Por ejemplo, el lunes que viene. Repita, el lunes que viene. What do you think that means? You got it. Next or this coming Monday. Repita, siempre. Siempre. Meaning always. Siempre. Repita, siempre nado los lunes. Siempre nado los lunes. Now, nadar is the word for swim. And that means I always swim Mondays. So we'll talk about this in a bit, doing something always on a certain day. All Mondays, the Mondays. So let's say them one more time. Look at the definitions while we say them. Repita, hoy. ¿Qué día es hoy? Hoy es ayer. Anteayer. Mañana. Pasado mañana. En 3 días. Que viene. El lunes que viene. Siempre. Siempre nado los lunes. Now see if you can come up with el español. ¿Cómo se dice today? Repita, hoy. What day is today? Repita, ¿qué día es hoy? Today is. Repita, hoy es. ¿Cómo se dice yesterday? Repita, ayer. Day before yesterday. Repita, anteayer. ¿Cómo se dice tomorrow? Repita, mañana. ¿Cómo se dice day after or past tomorrow? Repita, pasado mañana. ¿Cómo se dice in 3 days? Repita, en 3 días. How about next or coming? Repita, que viene. ¿Cómo se dice this coming Monday? And oftentimes they flip things. So it's Monday coming or Monday next in Español. They put the Monday first. Repita, el lunes que viene. ¿Cómo se dice always? Starts with an S. Repita, siempre. ¿Cómo se dice I always swim Mondays? Siempre nado los lunes. I always swim the Mondays. Muy bien, so let's just go through them once again. This is how you will see them within the module study plan, and you can click on the arrows and get pronunciation practice. Let's say them one more time. Repita, hoy. ¿Qué día es hoy? Hoy es ayer. Anteayer. Mañana. Pasado mañana. En 3 días. Que viene. El lunes que viene. Siempre. Los sábados siempre nadamos. A couple different things there. The siempre is in a different spot. Saturdays is first. And nadamos. Last example was nado, I swim. Nadamos means we swim. That's a little bit of a foreshadowing for what's to come with conjugating verbs. Muy bien, let's do some práctica. If I tell you hoy es lunes, mañana es martes. Today is Monday, tomorrow is Tuesday. Notice something. The days of the week are not capitalized. In English, that would be a capital L, a capital M on the days of the week, but they're not capitalized, never. So don't put a capital letter on your days of the week. How about this one? Hoy es jueves. Pasado mañana es sábado. Today is Thursday, so the day after tomorrow, past tomorrow, is Saturday. Tomorrow will be Friday, viernes, pasado mañana, sábado, Saturday. Hoy es viernes. Ayer era, ayer, jueves. Today is Friday. Yesterday was, notice the past tense, not es, is, but era, was, jueves. How about this? Hoy es martes. Anteayer era, tricky, domingo. Today is Tuesday, so day before yesterday was Sunday. Notice no capital letters on those days of the week. Moving on, otras palabras, I told you we'd touch on this. Los fines de semana. Repita, los fines de semana. The ends of the week or weekends. Repita, los viernes. Means Fridays, all the Fridays. Repita, los sábados. Los domingos. So if you put the plural the, los, in front of a plural day, you end up with saying all of those days. Por ejemplo, los fines de semana yo estudio español. What do you think that means? Maybe you guessed this. On, there is no on that is actually in the writing here, but the weekends I study Spanish. So that means all the weekends. Just putting los fines de semana there. You can translate and throw the on in there because that's how we say it. On the weekends I do that. But there's no literal word for that in the sentence. Try this one. Yo hablo con la profesora los viernes. From the verb hablar, meaning to talk. What do you think that means? I bet you guessed it. I speak with the teacher, professor, on Fridays. The Fridays, all the Fridays. So on Fridays, you can find me speaking to the teacher. Muy bien. Los meses del año. The months of the year. Repita, por favor. Enero. Enero. Febrero. Febrero. Enero, febrero. Notice, are the months capitalized? No, never capitalize the months in Spanish. So febrero, that's a good one. That's very close, a cognate, nice cognate to February. Enero, maybe you can see January in there. There's an N. Let's continue. Repita, marzo. Marzo. Abril. Abril. It's not April, right? Try to get those pronunciations of the English vowels out of there. April. Okay. Abril. Repita, abril. Repita, enero, febrero, marzo, abril. Nice cognates there. March and April, very close. Repita, mayo. Mayo. Not mayo for your sandwich. It's mayo. Real nice cognate there. Repita, junio. Junio. Good cognate. Repita, mayo, junio. And let's do the batches again. Repita, enero, febrero, marzo, abril. Mayo, junio. Repita, julio. Julio. Another nice cognate, both June and July. Replace that Y with I-O and you got it there. Repita, agosto. Agosto. So no U in August. In Spanish, agosto, agosto. Repita, julio, agosto. Now look at the next four. Repita, septiembre, septiembre, octubre, octubre, noviembre, noviembre, diciembre, diciembre. Nice, right? Notice the pattern. September starts with SEPT like September, and then the IE and the embre at the end. Noviembre starts with NOV like November, then the IE, then the embre, noviembre. Diciembre kind of starts like December, but DIC. The IE, diciembre. So boy, those three are really nice because they're so similar to memorize. Septiembre, noviembre, diciembre. Octubre is the only, well, no, I take that back. Junio and julio, of course, have the U's. They fit in there. And octubre is the only other one that has a U. Not in August, but in octubre instead. So let's say those six. Repita, julio, agosto, septiembre, octubre, noviembre, diciembre. One time through the whole list, repita, enero, febrero, marzo, abril, mayo, junio, julio, agosto, septiembre, octubre, noviembre, diciembre. Muy bien. ¿Cómo se dice April? Abril, August, agosto, November, noviembre, January, enero, September, septiembre, June, junio, March, marzo, July, julio, May, mayo, December, diciembre, February, febrero, October, octubre. And just like the days of the week, guess what? Yes, we have a song for los meses del año. Listen the first time and then sing along.
Meses del año. Enero, febrero, marzo, abril, mayo, junio, julio, agosto, septiembre, octubre, noviembre, diciembre.
Your turn. Are you ready?
Enero, febrero, marzo, abril, mayo, junio, julio, agosto, septiembre, octubre, noviembre, diciembre.
How did you do? You can play it over if you really love the song. Muy bien. Moving on to the final little piece that will be helpful going forward. It's not necessarily in the study plan section as its own lesson, But I'm just going to introduce you to these different concepts, and little by little we'll learn more about them. So first, que compared to que. What do you notice about the spelling of these two? Yep, you should see an accent in the first one. Let's take a look. Que with an accent means what? Used in questions. For example, ¿qué tienes en tu mochila? You should remember that from the first module. What do you have in your backpack? All interrogatives, which is the big grammar word for a question word, have accents in Spanish. When you're writing them, you must include the accent. Why? Because que without an accent means that, and it's used in statements. Por ejemplo, es español que es interesante. It's Spanish that is interesting. So very important to always remember when you're writing a question, a couple of things. First of all, a question has an upside down question mark at the beginning. The interrogative or the question word must have an accent. And then the question has a closing question mark as well. Always keep that in mind. Now another thing, que versus cuál. And these are two different ways to ask about, or ask questions, I should say. Que is used to ask for a definition. For example, ¿qué es el reloj de 24 horas? So what is the 24-hour clock? You're asking somebody about a definition of something, so you use que, what. Que, what, is used to ask for an explanation or further information. ¿Qué vas a estudiar este semestre? What are you going to study this semester? The question that we had was, ¿qué tienes en tu mochila? What do you have in your backpack? You're asking for information or an explanation about something. And que, what, is generally used when the next word is a noun. ¿Qué libros te gustan más? What books do you like most? ¿Qué clase tienes a las 8? What class do you have at 8? So notice it's a noun being a person, place, thing, or idea. Libros, books, is a noun. ¿Qué libros? Clase is a noun. ¿Qué clase? Now let's look at cuál. You'll notice that cuál, which means which. Cuál means which, like which one of those. You'll hear it used more frequently in Spanish, where we might ask a question using que, they'll use which. When is that used? Well, cuál is used to express a choice between specified items. So, ¿cuál de los libros prefieres? Which of the books do you prefer? Which of the books do you prefer? So it's a choice. You're making a choice between items. And cuál, which, is used when the next word is a form of to be. A form of the, so is, am, is, are, if it's one of those. But the question isn't asking for a definition. So up here is a definition. What is the 24-hour clock? That's a definition. But here we're also using is, which is your phone number, because you're not asking for a definition. It's more like you're asking for a choice, a selection. There's a defined number of telephone numbers. So, ¿cuál es tu número de teléfono? Is more proper. You'll hear that more often than ¿qué es tu número? Because that would be like a definition, like you don't understand what telephone number means and you're asking for a definition. ¿Cuáles son tus clases favoritas? Which are your favorite classes? So there's a choice. There's a defined choice between classes. So you use cuál, which. I'm just touching on this, so see if you can just kind of log it in a little bit. It's not a formal lesson here, but I think making questions is a tough part of Spanish, and it helps if we just sort of touch on it here and there, and then we'll formally address these question words in the future. So let's have un poco de práctica. Would you use que or cuál? Es tu mes favorito. What do you think that means in English? You're asking, something is your favorite month. ¿Qué or cuál? ¿Cuál es tu mes favorito? Why? Because cuál is used when the next word, you're asking a question, but it's not a definition, okay? And is here. So which is your favorite month? It also could be like a choice because you only have 12 months to pick from. So you could use either one of those as your reason for why you would use cuál. Which is your favorite month? What about something es semana en inglés? Is semana in English? For this one, ¿qué? Why? Because you're asking for a definition. So what is semana in English? You're asking for a definition. Okay? How about the next one? Something tengo en mi mochila. ¿Qué tengo en mi mochila? What do I have in my backpack? This one is easy because you wouldn't say which do I have in my backpack. Actually, for número dos, you wouldn't say which is semana in English. So that sort of makes more sense there. I think number one is the more confusing at this point because it's an explanation. ¿Qué tengo en mi mochila? We want further information rather. How about the next one? Something mes es tu favorito. ¿Qué mes es tu favorito? Why? Because it's followed by a noun. So although this is a choice, usually when we have a noun, it's ¿qué mes es tu favorito? Instead of ¿cuál when it's followed by a noun. Look at the difference. ¿Cuál es tu mes favorito? ¿Qué mes es tu favorito? It's just if the noun is right after, it's ¿qué? What month is your favorite? If it's the verb is, which is your favorite month? A little tricky there. How about the last one? Something de los meses prefieres. Of the months do you prefer? And that was for the last one, sorry, because the next word is a noun. And the last one, ¿cuál de los meses prefieres? Because this is a choice. Which of the months do you prefer? Certain choice. And we'll get into this down the road, but you're starting to see these things, so I want to give you a little bit of background. Muy bien, el fin. We're done with the instructional video 1 para Module 2, Study Plan Section 1. So it's time now to actually access the online study plan in Blackboard. Dive in, go to section número 1, ¿Qué día es hoy? I'll see you soon for instructional video número 2. Adiós.